Now pulling entry 368, Casey Harriman, Daryl and Tripp. On deck, Joe Catterton, Rex and Jesse, entry 370.
Somebody slow them down. They'll pull it all the way to Marlinton. That team from Freedoms, Pennsylvania, my hometown, home of the world famous IXL Creamery, and not a whole lot else.
Next to pull entry 370, Joe Catterton, Rex and Jesse. On deck, Ricky Phipps, Willie and Dick. Entry 370 passes at 4,000 pounds. Ricky Phipps, Chesapeake Beach, Maryland. Willie and Dick, you're up. And he'll pass as well. Let's add 500 pounds. See what happens. All right. We'll ask the heavyweights if they want to come in and pull at 4,000 pounds. Entry number 1 in the heavyweight class. Entry 369. Jerry Shear, Rocky, and Willie. Second to pull, 376, Kevin Nepper, Dick, and Tony Bob. Next then would be 247, Ernie Phipps, Bob and Rock. Followed by 373, Philip Burton, Red and Dan. Followed by 87, Bruce Barnes with Tug and Clay. Followed by 301, Michael Bueller, Dick and Pete. Followed by 302, Seth Owens, Marco and Prince.
Jesse, did you get the way behind that?
No problem there. Okay, 369 passed, 376 just pulled, 247, Bob and Rick, Ernie Phipps, you're up. On deck, entry 373, Philip Burton, Red and Dan. Okay, 247 is passed. 373, Philip Burton, you're up. Red and Dan. On deck, 87, Tug and Clay, Bruce Barnes. All right, they pass. Bruce Barnes, you're up. Michael Bueller, you're on deck. All right, they passed as well. Michael Bueller, you're up. On deck, Seth Owens. Okay, can we add weight now? Okay, 302, you have to pull. Seth Owens, you going to pull. And he will pass. So now let's add some weight. All right, let's bring on entry number 371. Joe Catterton, his team of Cody and Connor. Entry 350, Stanley Chafin, Flame and Barney Fife, you're on deck. All the lightweight teams must pull at 4,500 pounds. And there's a good pull. Cody and Connor. Joe Catterton of Dunkirk, Maryland. Next to pull, Stanley Chafin of Floyd, Virginia with Flame and Barney Fife. On deck, Brandon Porter with Tom and Bud. And there's a good pull. From entry 350, Stanley Chafin, Flame and Barney Fife. Next to pull, Brandon Porter, his team of Tom and Bud. On deck, entry 122, Jason Farrell with Rex and Tim. And there's a good pull. Next to pull, entry 122, Jay Farrell. Jason Farrell with his team of Rex and Tim. On deck, Blaine Chafin, Charlie and Mike. Took them a while to get there, but once they did, no problem. Good pull by Jason Farrell. Entry 122. Next to pull, entry 349, Blaine Chafin, Charlie and Mike. On deck, Casey Harriman, Daryl and Tripp. There's a good pull. Folks, once again, we'll remind you, please stay silent while the horses are pulling. When they're done, you can go ahead and clap your heads off. But while they're pulling, please give them a break. This is not their first rodeo. When they hear the applause, I think it's time to stop. Now pulling, Casey Harriman, Daryl and Tripp. Entry number 368 on deck, Joe Catterton, Rex and Jesse. Off they go. A good pull. Now pulling, Ricky Phipps, his team of Willie and Dick. Entry 239. And there's a good pull by Ricky Phipps and his team of Willie and Dick. Now we're going to bring out the big boys. Our first heavyweight team to pull. Next to pull, Ricky Phipps, pardon me. Ricky Phipps, Willie and Dick, next to pull. And then we'll bring out the big guys. And there's a good pull. Ricky Phipps, his team of Willie and Dick, successfully move on. Next to pull, our first heavyweight team, 369, Jerry Shearer from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, his team of Rock and Willie. On deck, entry 376, Kevin Nepper, Dick and Tony Bob. Next to pull, Jerry Shearer with Rock and Willie, our first heavyweight team. Bring them on. And there's a good pull by Jerry Shearer, his team of Rock and Willie. Next to pull, Kevin Nepper from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, his team of Dick and Tony Bob. On deck, Ernie Phipps, entry 247 with Bob and Rock. And there's a good pull by Kevin Necker, his team of Dick and Tony Bob. Next to pull, Chester Phipps with Bob and Rock. On deck, Philip Burton from Columbia, Kentucky with Red and Dan. And a good pull That's Ernie Phipps with Bob and Rock. Next to pull, Philip Burton, his team of Red and Dan. On deck, entry 87, Bruce Barnes, Tug and Clay. And they move off and trot. Bruce Barnes, entry number 87, Tug and Clay. That pull was by Michael Bueller, his team of Dick and Pete, entry 301. Next pull, entry 302, Seth Owens of Clearfield, Pennsylvania, Marco and Prince. And a good pull. Entry 302, Seth Owens, Marco and Prince. All right, entry 373 in the heavyweight division. Philip Burton, he did pass at this weight. So, everyone is pulled. Bring on the tractor. Let's add 500 pounds. All right, at this weight, no passing. Everybody has to pull. All right, we're up to 4,500 pounds. Bring on the lightweights. First to pull, entry 371, Joe Catterton, Cody and Connor. My bad, 5,000 pounds. What's 500 pounds among friends? And there's a good pull at 5,000 pounds. Joe Catterton, Cody and Connor. Next to pull, Stanley Chapin with Blaine and Barney Fife. On deck, Brandon Porter, Tom and Bud. One pull. "13 feet 11 inches. Okay, he's unhitched from the sled, so he has one try left. Next to pull, entry 367, Brandon Porter, West Sunbury, Pennsylvania. His team, Tom and Bud. And there's a good pull. Next pull, Jason Farrell of Mechanicsville, Maryland. On deck, Blaine Chapin from Floyd, Virginia. Jason Farrell, his team of Rex and Tim. Blaine Chapin, his team of Charlie and Mike. Pulling 5,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, once we got him hitched, there was no problem. Jason Farrell, Rex and Tim pulled the full weight. Next to pull, Blaine Chapin, Charlie and Mike on deck. Casey Harriman with Daryl and Tripp. A good pull by Blaine Chafin, Charlie and Mike. Next to pull, Casey Harriman, Daryl and Tripp. On deck, Joe Catterton, Rex and Jesse. A good pull by Daryl and Tripp, team of Casey Harriman. Next to pull, Joe Catterton, Rex and Jesse. On deck, Ricky Phipps, Willie and Dick. They pull well headed north, don't they? Joe Catterton, Rex and Jesse. Next to pull, Ricky Phipps, Willie and Dick. And there's a good pull by Ricky Phipps, Willie and Dick. Next to pull, heavyweights, Jerry Shearer from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, his team of Rock and Willie. On deck, Kevin Nepper, Dick and Tony Bob. That's not three horses. Tony and Bob is one name. Tony Bob. No problem. Rock and Willie and the team of Jerry Shearer. Next pull, Kevin Nepper, Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, his team of Dick and Tony Bob. Followed by entry 247, Ernie Phipps, Bob and Rob. All right. Next pull. Next pull, 247, Ernie Phipps, Bob and Rock. On deck, Philip Burton with his team of Red and Dan. And there's a good pull. Ernie Phipps, his team of Bob and Rock, pulling that 5,000-pound sled. Next pull, Philip Burton, Red and Dan. On deck, Bruce Barnes, Tug and Clay. Off they go. Now you know why they passed on the last weight. Next pull, entry 87, Bruce Barnes, his team of Tug and Clay. On deck, Michael Bueller with Dick and Pete. Tug and Clay have no problem. Bruce Barnes. Next pull, Michael Bueller from Ridgeway, Pennsylvania. His team of Dick and Pete. On deck, Seth Owens. His team of Marco and Prince. All right. No problem there. Michael Bueller's team of Dick and Pete moving on. Next to pull, Seth Owens, his team of Marco and Prince. On deck, lightweight entry 350, Stanley Chafin, Flame and Barney Fife. They have another try at 5,000 pounds, should they choose to do so. A good pull by Marco and Prince. Seth Owens of Clearfield, Pennsylvania. Now again, entry 350, Stanley Chapin, Flame and Barney Fife have one try left at 5,000 pounds. Should they choose to do so. They'll give it a go. Let's give them a chance, folks. That's a full pull. They'll move on. Now, folks, again, we've got to ask you to keep your applause down until they blow that whistle. You start climbing like that, these guys think they're done. All right, we're going to go to 5,500 pounds. First to pull at 5,500 pounds will be Joe Catterton, his team of Cody and Connor. On deck, Stanley Chapin with Flame and Barney Fife. There's a good pull with 5,500 pounds. Cody and Connor, Joe Catterton. Next to pull, Flame and Barney Fife are back. Stanley Chapin of Floyd, Virginia. On deck, Brandon Porter with Tom and Bud. Okay, folks, let's give them a chance to hitch and pull. And there's a good pull. Stanley Chapin, Floyd, Virginia, pulling 5,500 pounds, the full distance. Next to pull, Brandon Porter, Tom and Bud. On deck, Jason Farrell, Rex and Tim. And there's a full pull. Brandon Porter, Tom and Bud. Next up, Jason Farrell, Rex and Tim. On deck, Blaine Chapin, Charlie and Mike. A good pull by Rex and Tim, Jason Farrell's team from Mechanicsville, Maryland. Next pull, Blaine Chafin, Charlie and Mike. On deck, Casey Harriman, Daryl and Tripp. "24 feet, 4 inches on that pole. He'll unhitch and have one try left. Next pole, Casey Harriman, Daryl and Tripp. On deck, Joe Catterton, Rex and Jesse. There's a good pull. Daryl and Tripp, the team of Casey Harriman from Freedens, Pennsylvania. Next to pull, Joe Catterton, Rex and Jesse. On deck, Ricky Phipps, Willie and Dick.
Let's give them a chance to hitch and pull, folks, please.
And there's a good pull. Rex and Jesse, the team of Joe Catterton. Next to pull, Ricky Phipps, Willie and Dick. On deck, it will be the heavyweights of Jerry Shearer, Rock and Willie. A good pull by Willie and Dick, Ricky Phipps, Chesapeake Beach, Maryland. I didn't get the page turned before Jerry Shearer, Rock and Willie hitched and pulled the full distance. Next to pull, Kevin Nepper with his team of Dick and Tony Bob. On deck, Chester Phipps, Ernie Phipps rather, with Bob and Rock. Okay, entry 376, Kevin Nepper, Dick and Tony Bob are going to pass at 5,500 pounds. That means next to pull, Chester Phipps, Ernie Phipps the driver, with Bob and Rock. On deck, Philip Burton, Red and Dan. Okay, we had an equipment failure there, so we'll get things fixed and try again. And there's a good pull. Ernie Phipps, Bob and Rock, moving on. Next to pull, Philip Burton, his team of Red and Dan. On deck, Bruce Barnes, Tug and Clay. Moving right on, Philip Burton, Red and Dan. Next to pull, Bruce Barnes, Tug and Clay. On deck, it'll be Michael Bueller with Dick and Pete. A good pull by Bruce Barnes. Tug and Clay. Next to pull, Michael Bueller, Dick and Pete. On deck, Seth Owens with Marco and Prince. No problem for Dick and Pete. Michael Bueller's team moves on. Next to pull, Seth Owens of Clearfield, Pennsylvania. His team of Marco and Prince. On deck, The team of Blaine Chafin from the lightweight class has a pull left. And a good pull by Marco and Prince. Seth Owens' team will move on. Again, we're looking for entry 349, Blaine Chafin, Charlie and Mike. They pulled 5,500 pounds, 24 feet and 4 inches on their first attempt. They unhitched. They have one try. Okay, folks, this is their final chance to stay in the competition this morning, so let's give them a chance to hitch and pull. Hold your applause, please.
Yeah.
Whoa!
That pull was 12 feet 10 inches. Their best pull at 5,500 pounds was 24 feet 4 inches. Let's bring another block on here, another 500 pounds. Our first team to pull at 6,000 pounds and even 3 tons. Joe Catterton, entry 371, Cody and Connor. On deck, Stanley Chafin, Flame and Barney Fife. "21 feet, 1/2 inch on that first pull. He will unhitch. He'll have one try left should he choose to do so. Again, that pull, 21 feet, 1/2 inch. Next pull, Stanley Chafin, Flame, and Barney Fife on deck. Brandon Porter, Tom, and Bud. Again, folks, we're getting into the area where 1/2 inch or so could make a big difference in winning prize money or winning just gas money. So if you could hold your applause until we're done pulling, the drivers would certainly appreciate it. One pull. Three feet, 1 inch. He'll unhook. We'll have one try left, should he choose to do so. Next bull, Brandon Porter, his team with Tom and Bud. On deck, Jason Farrell, Rex, and Tim. And there's a full pull. Brandon Porter, Tom, and Bud. Next to pull, Jason Farrell, Rex and Tim. On deck, Casey Harriman with Daryl and Tripp. And a full pull for Rex and Tim. Jason Farrell's team from Mechanicsville, Maryland. Next to pull, Casey Harriman, Daryl and Tripp. On deck, Joe Catterton, Rex and Jesse. There's a full pull by Daryl and Tripp, Casey Harriman, Freedom's, Pennsylvania. Next to pull, Joe Catterton, Rex and Jesse. On deck, Ricky Phipps, Willie and Dick. Let's give them a chance to hitch and pull, folks. Thank you. Whoa. 25 feet. 25 feet 10 on the first attempt. And there's a full pull. Next pull, Ricky Phipps of Chesapeake Beach, Maryland. Willie and Dick. On deck, heavyweight team number 1, Jerry Shearer, Rick Rock, make that Rock, and Willie. Mm. 27 feet 4 inches. He'll have one more attempt should he choose to do so. Next pull, heavyweight team of Jerry Shearer, Rock, and Willie. On deck, Kevin Nepper, Dick, and Tony Bob. There's a good pull. Rock and Willie, the team of Jerry Shearer. Moving on. Next to pull, Kevin Nepper, Dick, and Tony Bob. On deck, Ernie Phipps with Bob and Rock. Okay, entry 376. Kevin Nipper. They are done for the day. Dick and Tony Bob. That means next to pull, Ernie Phipps. 19 feet 8 inches on their first attempt. "22 feet 3 inches on the second. Next to Phil, Philip Burton. Red and Dan on deck. Bruce Barnes. Tug and play. Off they go. Phil Burton, Red and Dan. No problem. Next to pull, Bruce Barnes, Tug and Clay on deck. Michael Bueller with Dick and Pete. There's a good pull. Next to pull, Michael Bueller, Dick and Pete. Then Seth Owens with Marco and Prince. No problem. Michael Bueller, Dick and Pete with a good pull. Seth Owens, Marco and Prince. Next to pull. On deck, Joe Catterton, Cody and Connor with one try left. A good pull by Seth Owens, Marco and Prince. Yep. We have 3 lightweight teams that are eligible to come back. Starting with Joe Catterton, Cody and Connor. They have a distance of 21 feet, 1/2 inch.
Yes.
How much? 12 foot, 10.5 inches on that bull. So again, his best distance, 21 feet to 1/2 inch on his first try. Next to come back, Stanley Chafin of Floyd, Virginia, his team of Flame and Barney Fife. They have a distance of 3 feet to 1 inch. On deck, Ricky Phipps, Willie and Dick. And again, folks, we are in the position here of moving on or being done for the day. So we ask you to please hold your applause while these teams try to move on to the next weight.
12 feet, 8 inches on that try. By Stanley Chafin, Flame, and Barney Pipe. Next to come back, Ricky Phipps, Willie and Dick. Their first try was 27 feet, 4 inches. So we're at the place now where inches count between moving on and going home, folks. So curb your enthusiasm. Here's a full pole. Ricky Phipps, Willie and Dick, moving on. Okay, we're looking for team 247. Ernie Phipps, Bob and Rock. You've got one try left at 6,000 pounds. Okay, folks, let's give them a chance to hitch and pull.
If I get tail, I'll read it back.
He made a circle of it. Yeah. The horses can do it.
That's a full pull.
Well, he won last year, remember?
Okay, let's put 500 more pounds on there. Take it to 6,500 pounds. All of our heavyweight teams have made it through to 6,500. Okay, save for 376. We have 5 lightweight teams left and 5 heavyweight teams. The first lightweight team to pull will be the team of Brandon Porter, Tom and Bud, stepping up to 6,500 pounds. On deck, Jason Farrell, Rex, and Tim. Their first attempt at 6,500 pounds was 23 feet 6 inches. Second try at 6,500 pounds, 16 feet 9 inches. He'll have one try left, should he choose to do so. Next to pull, Jay Farrell, Mechanicsville, Maryland, his team of Rex and Tim. On deck, Casey Harriman.
No, we didn't really pay it. Where's that thing?
It took a while to get there, but that's a full total.
Real quick on that.
Next to pull,
Real quick on that.
Daryl and Tripp, Casey Harriman. Oh yeah. Daryl and Tripp with a full pull for Casey Harriman. Next to pull, Joe Catterton, Rex and Jesse. On deck, Ricky Phipps, Willie and Dick.
Oh, man, I'm all right.
Tired to see the big old freak.
5 feet, 10 inches on that pull. Nine feet, 11 inches on that pull. They'll have one more opportunity should they choose to do so. Next to pull, our first heavyweight team, Jerry Shearer, Rock and Willie. On deck, entry 373, Phil Burton, Red and Dan. So 3 feet. There's a good pull. Jerry Shearer, Rock and Willie. Next pull, entry 247. Seven feet, 5.5 inches on that pull. He'll have one try left. Next pull, Philip Burton, Red and Dan. On deck, Bruce Barnes. No problem. Red and Dan with Philip Burton. The full distance, they'll move on. Bruce Barnes, Tug and Clay. Next up on deck, Michael Bueller, Dick and Pete. These guys are just messing around. A full pull for a Tug and Clay. And Bruce Barnes, Michael Bueller, Dick and Pete. Next to pull, on deck, Seth Owens with Marco and Prince. There's another full pull. Michael Bueller, Dick and Pete. Our final heavyweight team, Seth Owens, Marco and Prince. On deck, the lightweight team of Brandon Potter, Tom and Bub, they have one try left. $11 feet 4 inches on that try. They've unhitched. They'll have one try left, should they choose to do so. Next to pull at 6,500 pounds, Brandon Porter, Tom and Bud in the lightweight class. They have one try left. On deck, Joe Catterton, Rex, and Jesse. Entry 367, Brandon Potter. They have passed on their final attempt, so their best distance is 23 feet 6 inches at 6,500 pounds. Joe Catterton has also passed. That's entry number 370. Their best distance at 6,500 pounds, 5 feet 10 inches. Ricky Phipps, Chesapeake Beach, Maryland. Willie and Dick have one try left at 6,500. So Ricky Phipps has passed as well. His best distance, 9 feet 11 inches. We have two lightweight teams moving on, Jay Farrell and Casey Hardiman. We have two heavyweight teams to come back, entry 247, Ernie Phipps, Bob and Rock, and entry 302, Seth Owens, Marco and Prince. Chester Phipps has passed his best distance, 7 feet 5.5 inches at 6,500 pounds. Seth Owens has one try left at 6,500. Seth Owens will pass also. Marco and Prince are out, 11 feet 4 inches. Let's add 500 pounds. Take it up to 7,000 pounds. That's 3.5 tons we'll be pulling. All right, we're up to 7,000 pounds. We have two lightweight teams left, 4 heavyweight teams left. And again, folks, we'll remind you, we're pulling for prize money now. So give these teams and drivers every opportunity to pull the weight. We're looking for entry 122, Jason Farrell, with his team of Rex and Tim to pull 7,000 pounds. Casey Harriman, Daryl and Tripp, you're on deck. Jay Farrell will pass at 7,000 pounds. Entry 368, Casey Harriman, Daryl and Tripp, you are up. And they're gonna come pull. On deck, Jerry Shearer, Rock and Willie. $19 feet 4 inches on that pull, ladies and gentlemen. That is your lightweight championship team. That's the heavyweight team of Jerry Shearer, Rock, and Willie. Next to pull, Philip Burton, Red and Dan. First pull was 1 foot, second pull out of bounds. He will have one try left. Next to pull, Philip Burton, Red and Dan. On deck, Bruce Barnes. There's a full pull of 7,000 pounds.
Slow!
23 feet 8 inches on that pull by Bruce Barnes and his team of Tug and Clay. Next to pull, Dick and Pete,
Michael Bueller of Ridgeway, Pennsylvania. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we'll remind you, we are pulling for championships here now. So please, refrain from clapping until the pull is complete or they've unhitched. Give them a chance to hitch and pull. Take home that prize money.
And there's a full pull.
Entry number 368, Jerry Shear. Rock and Willie with a try left. On deck, Bruce Barnes, Tug and Clay with a try left. Two feet, 5 inches on that try from Jerry Shear and Rock and Willie. Now we're looking for one more try, Bruce Barnes, entry 87, Tug and Clay. They will pass. Their best distance, 23 feet, 8 inches. So we have two teams that pulled full distance at this weight. Oh, let's go to 7,500 pounds and see what happens. We have two teams remaining at 7,500 pounds. Philip Burton, Red and Dan. Michael Bueller, Dick and Pete. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be pulling for first and second place prize money here. And one more time, we'll ask you to curb your enthusiasm. Wait until they're done pulling. First prize is $1,000. Second prize, $850. That's what we're pulling for right now. Unpulled. "23 feet, 1 inch on that try. Looking for entry 301, Michael Bueller, his team of Dick and Pete. He's passed on his first and second. He's got one try. Entry 373, Phil Burton, Rex and Dan have one try left. Their first pull, 23 feet, 1 inch. He has one pull, one try remaining should he choose to do so. And he's going to give it a go. Philip Burton with a pull of 27 feet 3 inches. He's your heavyweight winner.
There's a Christmas thing. They're feeling well.
By 3 feet and a few inches. So Philip Burton of Columbia, Kentucky, his team of Red and Dan, your heavyweight champions. The State Fair will pay premiums in the horse pool through 16th place. Today, we have 8 places in the lightweight category, 7 places in the heavyweight category. 8th place, Lane Chapin in the lightweight category. 8th place, Lane Chapin, his team of Charlie and Mike. 7th place, Stanley Chapin, his team of Flame and Barney Fife. 6th place, Joe Catterton, his team of Cody and Connor. 5th place, Joe Catterton, his team of Rex and Jesse. 4th place, Ricky Phipps, his team of Willie and Dick. 3rd place, Brandon Porter, his team of Tom and Bud. 2nd place, Jason Farrell, Rex and Tim, and your champion today, the team of Harriman and Speck from Friedens, Pennsylvania, driven by Casey Harriman, Daryl and Trip, pulling 7,000 pounds, 19 feet, 4 inches. In the heavyweight category, 7th place, Kevin Nepper, his team of Dick and Tony Bob. 6th place, Ernie Phipps, his team of Bob and Rock. 5th place, Seth Owens, the team of Marco and Prince. 4th place, Jerry Shearer, team of Rock and Willie. 3rd place, Bruce Barnes, the team of Tug and Clay. 2nd place goes to Michael Mueller, his team of Dick and Pete. And the champion heavyweight team, Philip Burton of Columbia, Kentucky, his team of Red and Dan. Congratulations to all of our participants. We also want to thank 10 Mile Land, LLC. 10 Mile Land, located in Bridgeport, West Virginia, purchases minerals and land and develops and operates oil and gas throughout the Mountain State. Deep-rooted in family values and driven in integrity, 10 Mile Land is here for you. Learn more at 10mileland.com. Let's bring our 1, 2, and 3 teams for the lightweight division up here for trophy and ribbon presentations.
Sorry.
Participating in our prize awards today.
Hey, can I get one more on that phone?
Gary Trout, President of the Board of Directors of the West Virginia State Fair. Also, Agriculture Commissioner Ken Leonhardt. And Miss West Virginia, Jennifer Ruther.
There.
Got everybody.
We want our heavyweight teams, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. Come get your ribbons and your trophy.
Everybody, smile at the way.
Does this come with the video? It don't. I asked you last year. Let's get it now.
Right.
There you go.
All right, going down there. Going up back. All the other way. get huckled. Oh, I gotta suck it up a little bit then. Take all the feet. Okay? No shot. We'll let Ed get a good picture too. Ed's better than me.
I can't see. You can't see me. I can't see you.
I can't see the guy in the back right here. There you go. I can't see you. There we go. That's good.
All right. Thank you.